Hello Bulls, hello Bears, welcome to Stock Rumors. My name is Andy and I come from the future. I'm here trying to help you make money in the stock market. The first step is subscribe to my channel Stock Rumors. Why do I tell you this? Because I notice that many people watch my content but they're not subscribed yet. And the internet is a huge universe, right? So maybe you like my content, maybe you learn something new, maybe you find this valuable, but you never see me again. Why? Because you didn't subscribe. So I'm here trying to help you. This is my daily show. I'm here, let me show you, enjoying a cup of coffee. I'm planning to teach you something very, very important. It's a base. It's a fundamental. It's something that you should have in your toolbox at all times. So this is my show, and let's begin. I have a question for you. I have a good question for you. Okay? If you lose 50%, if you lose 50% of your capital and later you make 50%, do you break even? I want you to think. You can grab a notebook if you want, grab a pen. This is for people who love math. You know, this is for people who really want to take the stock market seriously. Okay? If you want to make this your career, all right, it's not just a hype because you saw a post on the internet. All right? You could see a post on Instagram, you see someone trading from the beach, from a resort, and he knows what you don't, and he can sell your list. Maybe you like videos like that, you like stuff like that. But if you want the truth, you want good content, you want something valuable for your life, something that can help you or those who, those around you, pay attention. I will ask again, you can pause the video, you can brew a cup of coffee, come back, you can grab a notebook. This is an important question. If you lose 50% of your capital, but then you make 50% back again, do you break even? Before I answer that, I want you to write it down. If you have 100, simplify it. I believe in simplicity. Andy, Stock Rumors, baby. Simplicity. Andy from the future. There is beauty in simplicity. You can take a complicated term like the stock market, explain it to common people like you and I. Simple terms. That's what I do. Beauty and simplicity. So write down 100 minus 50%. But since we simplified it, 50% of 100 is 50. You get to keep 50. So you lose 50% of your account. Now what happens when you make 50% back again? Now you had 50 left, right? You had 100, you lost 50%. Now you get to keep 50 and you make 50% profit again. 50%. You don't break even. You will only have 75. You had 100, you lose 50%. Now you make 50% again, but you're not even breaking even. You are at 75. Now, how much do you gotta make in order for you to break even? You have to make 100% in order for you to break even. You had 100, You lost 50%. Now you have $50. Now you make 50% profit. 50% out of 50 that you have is 75. So in order for you to get all the way up to 100 again, you gotta make 100%. You have 50, you make 100% return. You have another 50 is how you break even. Now imagine if you lose 50% of your capital. Think about it. Now this is what happens when you're new in the stock market. This is a new series. I'm gonna break it down more, 10x, just for you. You lose 50%, and in order for you to break even, you gotta make 100% return. It's tough. Just to make 10% in the stock market is tough. Now, I think if you make 10% or more, that's when you're a professional. I take 10% anytime, any day, every hour. 10% return, compound interest year after year. Woo! How do you calculate the amount of time it's going to take you? How do you calculate the amount of time it's going to take you to get to double your money? Rule of 72. Now, I will talk about that a little later. I want you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I want you to please understand what I'm saying. This is a different show, totally different show on the internet. I talk about stocks different than others. Other people, they just tell you the price action of the day. They break down charts for you. You find that on the internet everywhere. All the mainstream media that talks about stocks and investments. I'm telling you the truth. If you lose 50%, it's going to take you 3 times the effort to make profit. If you make 50% back, you stay at 75. If you make 100% back is when you break even. Maybe let's say you gotta make 150% back return in order for you to make $50 profit. It's tough business. That's the first part. Now, let's analyze this strategy, not even strategy, formula. It's a mathematical formula. Take notes, man. I'm a nerd. I am a nerd. I like numbers, percentages, strategies, discipline, mindset, positive, all of that stuff. That's what I teach. Psychology, and I will get to that also a little later. Let's apply this formula backwards to see what happens. Let's say that this time you have 100 and you don't lose 50%. Let's say that you have 100 and your first trade attempt at the stock market, you make 50% profit return. You have 100, you make 50, now you have 150. But what happens if you lose 50% after? Okay? Before, you will lose 50% at the first attempt, and then what happens if you make 50? But the other way, first experience in the stock market, you make 50%, you're all confident, you take another YOLO trade, Boom, you lose 50. Where do you end? Let me break it down for you. If you're taking notes, you had 100, you made 50%, now you have 150, but now you lose 50%, you end up at 75, because 50% of 150 is 75. So it doesn't matter. It's interesting. It takes exponentially double, triple, 4 times, 8 times, exponentially infinite the amount of money, effort, and time, maybe not time, but the amount of money that's going to take you to recover. And the amount of effort, because this time you don't got to be right half. This time you got to be right 150%. It's kind of hard. What do? Both scenarios, even if you start at a loss, or even if you start by taking some profits and then you lose, both scenarios you end up hurt. And that's being right. Imagine if you were wrong. What do? Should I discourage you from investing in the stock market? Actually, I think that's going to be the title for this video. Don't invest in the stock market. 50-50 rule. Yeah. The stream is always against you. You're always against the stream. Told you I was gonna teach you analogies. I'm gonna break it down. I'm more simple, simplistic. Beauty and simplicity. What do? Should you don't invest in the stock market? Should you go ahead and not do it? Stay away from it? That's what happens to many people. That's their first experience. That's their first encounter with the stock market. I lost. Oh, I quit. Don't do it again. Or they make money. Boom, Tesla. Boom, I make $10,000. You. But then they lose double the amount. And potentially, it could take them infinite time to just recover. I told you my story, right? I lost $3,000 on my first attempt. And in reality, it took a lot of effort for me to get it back, just to get it back. The only good thing about it is the lessons I learned. Okay. Imagine you're trying to fill a box, a basket, trying to fill up a basket, but the basket has a hole. The basket has a hole, and this is not a pep talk. You want to take it that way, it's up to you. This is me, Andy, trying to teach you something valuable. You're trying to fill a basket that has a hole. Okay? So it's almost like for every two apples that you put in the basket, you lose one. You put 2, you lose 1. You put 4, you lose 2, and so on. What should you do? What should you do? You gotta work twice as hard. I don't believe, I don't like to say I don't believe in charts. And talking about psychology, you see, when you trade, not when you invest, there's two ways. You could invest for the future, good techniques in there, in that on that road, and you could trade. You could invest. There's strategies you could use on that route, or you could trade, or you could do both. That's another thing I want to teach you. Don't put labels on yourself. The moment you put a label on yourself, you're boxing yourself out. Do you understand the way I teach? Simple formulas, simple math, simple language, simple strategy, simple psychology. I don't like to say I don't believe in charts, but I believe better in mathematics. When you analyze a chart, what you're analyzing is the previous behavior, it's the previous action, is the past. To break it down, the most simplistic term for that, when you analyze a chart, charts is just the past. And you're making it into a visual. You're making the past into a visual representation, an object, candlestick, lines, charts. All you're trying to do is make sense of the past. Does that make sense? Instead of me relying on the behavior of people in the past, why not train myself and educate myself for me to identify the proper signals, the good entry points, and have a mathematical formula? That way, the ratio of profit versus losses, it's like when people play like Fortnite. It's like a ratio, right? Between, what is it? Kills and deaths. The KD ratio. Fortnite or any first person shooter game. There's a ratio. All you have to make sure, like in anything in life, is that you're winning a little bit more on that side of the column, right? You want the KD ratio. Okay, I win at least twice as much as the times I lose. And because you're gonna lose. Even the best players gotta lose. What was one of the best players out there online? Was it Ninja? Ninja, shout out to Ninja, the video game player. Guy's crazy, man. There's some people who they have talent. You see? Listen, have you seen a competition for Rubik's Cube? What is it? The square that you... It's people who can solve that puzzle like in seconds. The cube. Boom, done, out. So, can I do something like that? Maybe not. I probably won't do it. But let's say that your life is against the wall, and they tell you the only way you survive is that if you solve this. Listen, you're gonna learn. You will learn. That's just the truth. You're gonna learn because of how serious it is. So the stock market, can you master this? Of course. But you gotta take it as serious as life or death situation. All mathematics, you could rely on charts. I don't rely on charts. When you trade, you're trading psychology. That's what I said before. I was going to talk about psychology. It is psychology. Why? Because you can have good fundamentals, okay? You can say, okay, you can say NEO, stock price $44.85. Electric vehicles, I believe in the future. I'm Andy from the future. Again, this is just pure entertainment, all right? I'm not your financial advisor. This is just for educational purposes only. There is always risk involved in any investment that you make, just to put it out of, the elephant in the room. What should you do? What should you do? That's the question. You got to work twice as hard. You got your basket. You put 2 apples, you lose 1. That means that when someone else is putting 1 apple in the basket, you got to be putting 2. Someone else is putting 4, you put 6, 8, and so on. Work twice as hard. It sounds cliche, especially if you're a teenager. You probably don't want to hear this. All you want is the results, right? I'm telling you, don't quit your day job. If I gotta shine shoes, and I enjoy the process, and whenever I get a 20, I buy an extra share. I keep trading. I keep investing. Shine shoes. Can be too prideful. Don't be too arrogant. If I gotta shine shoes, I will. Give me the guitar. Pop, 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 pop. I don't know how to play the guitar. I'm just... But it's the truth. You get the point. You buy an extra share. That's what I say. Feed the goose that's gonna lay the golden eggs. That's the code. That's the code words. Feed the money machine, the plant. I was talking to a friend not too long ago, and he was learning. I'm trying to help him. I compare every little investment that you make to a plant. Imagine that you're a farmer. You're a farmer. From now on, you're a farmer. Think of yourself as a farmer. You make $10, you have an extra $10, you buy 1 share, $10. Maybe that plant only gives you $1 a year, tiny little plants. But you take note of that. This is my garden, this is my farm. You could have a garden or a farm. Whatever it's in your imagination. You keep working hard at your job, buy 1 extra share. Buy 1 extra share. Before, you can look it up. I think I made a video about this. I called it Pay Yourself First. I think it was from the Daily Morning Show. Pay yourself first. And what I mean by that, every week, make a transfer to your broker's account, whatever platform you use. Even if it's Robinhood, even if it's TD Bank, even if whatever you use, Webull, whatever you use. I'm not here promoting anything really. Every week, transfer $20 before you buy the extra meal, before you buy dessert, cut those corners in your lifestyle. Try not to impress people. I've said it here before on this channel. Buy unused phones, $500-$600 over the internet. Even if the phone is a year old, save yourself $1,800. Does the same thing. My suggestion. Work hard, buy an extra share every week, 2 if you can, 10 if it allows it. By the time you collect 100 shares, even if it takes you 100 weeks, 2 years to get 100 shares, you have 100 shares, nothing wrong, starting from the bottom, working hard. Now you can, once you own 100 shares, now you can sell covered calls. Your first contract. You start by selling your first calls contract. You sell. You collect 100, you sell calls. Start collecting money. Start getting return on your investment. If the shares you're buying pay you dividend, hey, that could be an extra 7% that you're making as long as you own the shares and they don't execute the calls. But again, 7% that you make dividends. Don't put labels on yourself. It's better if you call yourself an investor. You're an investor of your time. You're an investor of your energies. You're an investor of your money. You're an investor of your intelligence. You're an investor of everything in your life. Understand? But hey, I'm a day trader, so I gotta trade. No. I trade if I want to. If not, I wait on the sidelines. Who is who to tell me when to invest? That's the beauty of the market. That's the beauty. If I decide to take a whole month off, that's on me. I'm an investor. But if you got shares that pay you dividends and you catch dividends, you capture dividends, woohoo! I made a video, how to catch dividends. Search. Now you look to my videos, you do like this, scroll. You have 100 videos, 50, whatever. Boom. I talk about how to capture dividends. Pay you 7%. You know how to use the rule of 72? Told you I was going to give you good stuff. Rule of 72. Whatever dividend yield they pay a year, let's say they pay 7% a year. 7%, you find a stock that says they pay 7% a year. Dividend. You divide 72 by 7, by the 7% they pay, it's going to give you 10.2. 10.2. Meaning, it's going to take 10 years for you to double your money. Double your money on dividends alone. Okay? Rule of 72. Write it down if you're taking notes. Look it up. You divide whatever percentage they pay on dividends. You divide 72. It's going to give you a number. That number is the amount of years that's going to take you to double your money. If you have invested in a company $10,000, $10,000 on dividends alone, in 10 years, you're going to have 20,000. It sounds modest for some people, but that's a lot. 7%. I told you to make 10% is good. So all you got to do now is hustle the extra 3%. If you sell some options, if you sell options yourself, you can collect some premium and hustle the extra 3%. You understand that? Work twice as hard. What do I mean by that? Well, if you gotta do 1 hour of Uber a week just to buy one extra share, it's good stuff. Think about it. Imagine you're 22 years old and I told you that when you're just 32, you're gonna have doubled your effort. What's the, that's a good one. What's the healthy inflation? What's a healthy inflation on a country? Is it like 2% every year? That's crazy. Still, it's crazy. It's healthy. Still healthy. But your money has to make more than 2% a year just to break even. Otherwise, inflation is going to take your money. Taxes is another term for taking money out of your wages. But inflation is another way of saying taking money out of your savings. Don't tell anyone I told you that, but it's the truth. If you keep your money in the bank at today's rate, 0% back, meaning if you keep your money in a savings account, it's going to give you perhaps 30 cents a year. But inflation alone is going to take from that money. The buying power of your dollar is losing value at a healthy rate of 2%, not taking in consideration all the printing that's been done on 2020 alone. Not that. That's another video. Could take me an hour just to talk to you about inflation. Work hard by creating this snowball effect. You buy an extra share, now you're collecting dividends from 2 shares. You work hard on your side hustle, you got 3 shares, now you got 3 shares paying you dividends. And it creates a snowball effect. At a 7%, it's going to give you double your money in 10 years just on dividends alone. If there is growth on in other words, if the price of the shares go up, you're going to make money as well on just holding your shares. So you could double your money maybe sooner, 6 years. It's paying you back. If you work hard, but you don't invest, it's like the decay. The money's decaying in the bank. And we haven't been in negative in the negative field yet in the US. But the time might come when you have to pay. Remember, I'm Andy from the future. The time might come when we have to pay to keep our money in the bank. All right? Invest. At the time you have 100 shares, you can start selling calls, collecting premium, find a good company pays you dividends. Don't jump around. You don't need diversification, 10, 20 companies. That's a lot. You only diversify if you don't know what you're doing. Don't put labels on yourself. Period. One thought for today. People looking for shortcuts usually end up on the wrong road. Deep. People looking for shortcuts usually end up on the wrong road. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. It takes effort. It takes energy. You got to do your homework, research, watch videos like this for you to learn. Bulls and Bears, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'm warning you, you might never see me again. It's up to you. I give the free content. Bulls and Bears, I'll see you in the next one.